say one more thing.
No, you can't. You can't. You've been talking for hours.
But
You can't have any words left.
I do. Wait. I want you to know that I understand how difficult it was for you to do this. To lay it all out and take the chance I might say no.
Well, you did it a couple of times. Only difference is I did say no.
Don't. I meant it when I said I don't want either of us to feel guilty or sorry. We're through with that. It's a little like confession and penance. We don't worry about the failures. Let's just get on with the business of trying.
Sounds good to me.
Anyway, my love, I know it wasn't easy. And you're the one who saved us, because I don't think I could have tried. At least not for a while.
When you told me that you wanted it over, and I knew that you meant it, that's when I got most scared.
I only wanted to stop hurting. I wanted to be free of you, and I couldn't make that happen. And then I wanted to be in love with Tom, and I couldn't make that happen either. Will you be nice to him? He's been so good to me.
I'll try, Mary. But I have to tell you that 5 minutes with Desmond, I turned into Benny Bodini on the docks.
Oh,
I mean, for 14 years, he was so mean, nobody would sit down next to him to eat lunch.
I'll sit down next to you and eat lunch. Speaking of which, I see.
No. You just had breakfast or dinner or whatever the hell time it is.
Oh, all right. Oh, Jack. Feels so good to be happy.
Who do you think really set this up, huh?
Ma. And Tom obviously had a part in it.
Frank.
Mm-hmm.
I bless them all.
Oh, I want to see Ryan so much.
Me too.
How do we get out of here?
Or, how do we get them to let us out?
Number 3.
You're not frowning anymore.
When was I frowning?
The hospital and a little bit on the way over here.
Well, it wasn't a very nice scene with Bill. I feel better not thinking about it.
You don't have to.
Thank you. And just for that, I'll relieve your curiosity. Frank Bryan was visiting us. Bill got jealous, sent me on that non-existent errand to my room. And there you were, waiting.
Frank. Oh, I'm not suggesting that there's anything between you. It's just an odd coincidence, that's all. I've known Frank since I was a kid.
It is strange.
What?
Oh, being around people that you've grown up with. I've lost touch with all the people I knew. Every once in a while, I call my mother. That's about it. For the rest, I live in an entirely different world.
Bill's world?
This drink is much too strong.
Oh, may I get you some ice?
No.
Well, how about some food? I literally have everything here.
No, thank you. No, every once in a while, I like to just sit back, relax, and notice what a one drink does to me. Now this one, I'm feeling it in my toes.
That's amazing. I do the same thing, only usually I let it go too far, and then I wake up with a hangover.
You don't have to worry about a thing this afternoon. I won't let you go too far. Roger, what are we going to talk about, huh?
About you? How you live? Why don't you take me through a day in the life of Mrs. W.P. Woodard?
All right. All right. Mrs. W.P. Woodard arises at 7, showers, dresses herself in a simple designer classic, and reads 4 newspapers with her morning coffee. Then she and Mr. Woodard meet, have a proper breakfast, and plan their day, which never has enough hours in it for everything they want to do.
Political meetings, business meetings, luncheons, cocktail parties, and dinner with the best of people.
Oh, yeah. We do a lot of that. But we're so much more than that, you know. We've really made things happen in this state. We are one hell of a political team. I wish I could make you understand how much he means to me. No matter how long he's hospitalized, or how old he is.
I understand that you love him, and that you want your marriage to last.
And he's been the center of my life since I first met him. And that was 12 years ago. I met him in the conference room of the Kansas City Star.
Kansas City?
Yeah, Kansas. Oh, I took one look at him. I followed him to New York, worked for him, finally married him. Bill's the only man I've ever met in my whole life who wasn't afraid of my energies. He's given me free rein for all of them. The political campaigning was a pleasure. It was a compensation for the lack of the physical relationship. You don't always have to make love to be close.
No.
Sex is lovely, but...
It can be separate from the major relationship in your life.
when necessary, yes.
When I'm in complete agreement. Lovers shouldn't make enormous emotional claims on one another. They just have to be honest. And of course, the attraction has to be there.
This drink's giving me a little difficulty. I'm having trouble sorting out its effect from yours.
Well, I'm glad I have an effect on you.
Oh, yes, you do. Tell me, Roger, how do you know so much about lovers, huh?
Endless personal experience. So many gorgeous women, I can't possibly bring them all to mind.
Ah, not even one? Oh, come. Surely you remember something about Delia Reed Ryan?
You know, I know it takes Giovanni a long time to make up his mind about anything. I can't tell you how long it'll take him to change his mind because I don't think he ever has.
Never?
Not that I know of, especially since he's been locked in the basement.
Well, my bet is that he'll be out of that basement very soon.
I don't think John would agree with you on that one, Maeve.
Oh, and what makes John Ryan an authority on changing of the mind? The last time I think he revised a closely held opinion, he voted for Harry Truman.
Thanks, Kevin. And here's to you, Maeve. And I sure hope Giovanni appreciates what you're trying to do.
Oh, darling, I'm not looking for appreciation. I just want my son-in-law back. my daughter to be happy and Ryan to have a father, and for Jack to allow some love and peace that he deserves.
Well, I'm all for that.
Well, here's himself. That was some walk, darling.
Well, I didn't mean to stay away so long. I found myself at the bridge before I knew it. Ah, Kevin. Without that beard, you look like a cross between your own mother and Mickey Rooney. How are you, Jumbo?
All right, Johnny, how are you?
Any news?
No. Jumbo called and I told him what was going on, so he decided to come up and keep the vigil with us.
Well, you're always welcome here. You know that, Jumbo. But you may be in for a rather long wait. In my opinion, Jack Finelli is incapable of saying he's sorry, or even understanding he has anything to be sorry about.
I like to think you're wrong about that.
I'd like to think so, too, for my daughter's sake, and for my granddaughter's, and because my wife has invested a great deal of time and effort and caring in Jack Finelli. Well, I have to tell you, I think it's a misguided investment. It's been a waste of time.
I don't think you have to say anything of the sort, dear.
Well, Jumbo happens to be my friend, regardless of how I feel about Jack Finelli. And I've always leveled with him. I'm not going to change that now. I happen to think the whole business is nonsense. And as far as I'm concerned, if Jack and Mary got together again, it would be a total disaster.
Oh, John.
I'm sorry you feel that way about it, Johnny.
Well, one thing can be said for Jack. Nobody's indifferent to him. Jumbo, would you mind if I leave Kevin here to entertain you and swoop John off into the kitchen because we have a meat delivery this afternoon and we have to clear some space in the freezer for it?
Sure, man.
By the way, what you think of yesterday's game?
I think I'm ready for the basketball season.
John, right.
All right, all right. Now, don't say it. I am entitled to express an opinion.
Yes, you're entitled to express your opinion, but you're not entitled to express it that particular way to that particular man.
Well, don't expect me to disguise the way I feel, do you?
Well, then I suggest that you keep your feelings to yourself. Or somebody might think that you're a stubborn, opinionated, unforgiving sort of man who cares more about his pride than he does about his daughter's wants and needs.
Look, lady, if my daughter wanted or thought she needed a good dose of the bubonic plague, I'd be against that, too.
I don't understand you, John. Mary's been walking around for months now, miserable. Lord knows she's done everything in the world to convince herself that she no longer loves Jack and that she's not married to him, that she's free of him. In all of her life, she never made such an all-out effort at something and failed.
Wrong. She made such an all-out effort for her marriage, and it failed, didn't it?
Not yet. She's done things your way, John. She's tried to be a single mother with a child. She's even tried to fall in love with the man that you chose for her.
And a very fine man he is. You admitted that yourself.
Yes, yes, Tom is a splendid man, a grand man, but he's not the man for Mary.
Now who's opinionated?
May I remind you that's Mary's opinion, too, you know.
Well, lady, you didn't lock Mary down in the basement with Tom, now, did you? To give her a chance to change her mind about it, did you? Huh? Maybe stubborn. Maybe lacking in forgiveness, but at least I'm not a hopeless romantic living out my fantasies through my children, pulling strings to create happy endings to suit my fancy.
Is that what you think has been going on around here?
What's that?
What's what?
I smell smoke.
Wait. John, there's smoke coming from the hallway.
It's in the basement. There's a fire in the basement. My God, he's trying to burn down my building!
Oh, John, come.
I've known for years. Why do you ask?
No reason. You took her to Boston to see the museums.
Okay. Who have you been talking to?
Have you met Royal? Executive secretary, research assistant, etc., etc.
Yes, the gentleman with the briefcase. I've seen him.
Well, he's marvelous at gathering information, has a real gift for it.
Well, perhaps you should donate him to the CIA.
I'm sorry. It just sort of cropped up in a hospital report. It was peripheral information. It won't go beyond me. I couldn't resist it. I just wanted to tease you. You know a lot about me.
You're forgiven. Besides, I think that half of Riverside knows about Delia and me anyway.
Was it a torrid romance? I'm getting tacky. Will you take this away from me, please?
I want you to finish that to the very last drop.
Huh.
Yes. It was torrid. Briefly. But then she remarried.
Did you love her?
Yes. But at this point, I feel the same way about her as you do about Bill. I care for Delia very much. She's very important to me, and I wouldn't do anything to hurt her. Well, at least not much. But she's not available to me, and I'm looking for company. Better company, actually.
That's not a very loyal thing to say about your own true love.
Well, she's not a bit true. And in a very real sense, she can't even compare to you.
And you still want her.
Someday, if it all works out. But right now, I'm rather tired of her. And it's very nice to have someone else on my mind.
Oh, yes. Yes, indeed. I know all about that.
I've been thinking a lot about you lately. And I find that very, very exciting.
I hadn't noticed.
Yes, you did.
When did you start thinking about me?
The night you and your husband were admitted, and the plane crashed.
I wasn't very attractive that night.
You were fascinating. The way you handle Seneca, I loved it.
Oh, Lord. Oh, I was trying so hard to be tough that night. I think I thought I could pull Bill through on sheer willpower. Actually, I don't remember too much about it.
Well, that's just as well. How are the ribs now?
Well, they're fine. A little sore every now and again, but they're okay.
The tape's been removed.
Oh, yes, doctor, yeah.
When is it sore?
When I sit up for too long.
Well, we'll just have to watch that, won't we?
Right now, they're fine. Mostly because I'm being anesthetized.
Well, may I offer you a refill?
No. It's been perfect. Perfect lunch. Discreet martini.
Are you feeling a little,
Are you a little discreet?
Yes. I have no morals, but I am fantastic with secrets. I can't tell you how many I have filed away right here.
I think we understand each other.
I think we've been trying to lay our cards on the table. We both care for someone else. We're both a little bit lonely, but we're also very realistic and civilized.
Go on.
And we share one particular thing in common. We love to feel good. Whether it's eating, drinking, laughing, or loving.
Roger, may I tell you something?
Anything.
I'm starting to get hungry.
You are wonderful.
Can't .com/Scrabble free. Rated E for everyone.
merciful mother.
It's sort of like announcing the election of the Pope.
If you don't mind, I think I'll find a fire extinguisher and put that out before we smoke up the whole house.
It was the only way we could think of to let you know we were ready to come out.
Is it all right if I ask how things are?
Things?
Yes.
How wonderful.
Oh, Mary, I'm so pleased. Oh, I was afraid you'd never speak to me again. Oh, Jack.
Well, I got an idea who did this, and all I can say is thank you.
Well, I can't take all the credit for it. Tom came by one day and said something had to be done because Mary was still in love with you. And you were still in love with her, and we had to get you together to talk. And I said, well, the only way possible would be to lock you in a room together. Of course, I didn't mean it, but then he spoke to Faith, and she thought of the basement. So then Tom and Frank and I sort of got together and cooperated in the effort.
Well, then I thank you and Tom and Frank and Faith.
Jumbo! I didn't even feel. Oh, I love you. I love everybody. I love the whole world.
John?
If you don't mind, I'd like to go on record as saying I don't think you've done her any favors.
John, please stay. Share this with them.
On the theory that if you can't say anything good, don't say anything at all, I'm going upstairs.
Ma, what would you have done if it hadn't worked?
Well, Tom and I were thinking of taking a boat to Ireland. I'm glad it's not necessary. Would you like to see your daughter, sir?
Oh.
I really would.
Oh, she's grown since the last
How is
time.
she?
16 years.
Oh.
16 months. What hours? It seems like